Welcome to the Wyoming Women's Business Center's 2021 webinar series. Today's presentation is Ready to Start a Business? I'm Christine Langley with the Wyoming Women's Business Center, and I'm going to be your speaker today. You'll notice the Zoom webinar bar on the bottom or top of your screen, depending on your orientation. And I want to call attention to both the chat panel and the questions panel. If you have anything to communicate with me during the webinar today, feel free to use either one of those sections to communicate. Immediately following this presentation, we're going to launch a survey, and I ask you to stay on the line just for a couple minutes and complete our simple 6-question survey because it provides us, as well as our funding partners, with valuable information. So all the participants that are on today are minimized, are muted to minimize our background noise. So once again, if you have any questions or comments during the presentation, just type them into either the chat box or the questions panel, and I'll monitor that. All right, so we're going to get started with some quick information about the Wyoming Women's Business Center, and then we'll dive into our topic today. And then I'm going to leave some time at the end for Q&A. This is a 30-minute format, and so we appreciate everybody joining us today on what might be your lunch hour. This is being recorded. It's going to be available on our YouTube channel, so you can just go to youtube.com, search for the Wyoming Women's Business Center. Then you can subscribe to our channel, check out any of the other business education content that we've provided over the last several years. So the Women's Business Center is a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to enable and empower Wyoming entrepreneurs. And of course, we have a special emphasis on women. And so we do our work through 3 distinct programs. The first is our business counseling and training program, and that's always free. The second is our microloan program, and that offers loans anywhere from $500 to $50,000 for businesses that have been denied from a traditional lending source. And then third is the Artist Development Center. And we run that in conjunction with our Works of Wyoming store in downtown Laramie. And what I really want to get across to you is that we actually specialize in micro enterprises. And so what's a micro enterprise? Well, it's a business that has less than 6 employees. The majority of those businesses are usually 1 or 2 person businesses. And they were able to launch for under $35,000. So that's really our specialty. Businesses like yoga studios and hairstylists, in-home daycare providers, marketing consultants, cleaning services, right? These are examples of our clients. All right, so let's jump into our topic today on starting a business. And so I want to begin by just understanding who we have on the line with us today. And so because of that, I'm going to launch a quick poll. And I'd like you to answer this question. What stage of business development are you in right now? Idea formation, so you're just kind of thinking about the possibilities. Are you in the planning stage? Means you've kind of settled on the idea or the business idea that you have, and you're in the process of developing a plan. Have you already launched your business, but you're at the very beginning stages, but you're officially open for business? Or are you an early startup, which means you've been in business for less than a year? So just want to get a sense of who we got on the call. We'll go from there. Okay, looks like a lot of people in the developing stage, kind of developing a plan, and a couple that have been in business for less than a year. Great. All right, thank you so much. All right, so it would make sense that most of the people on this webinar today, are in the stages that you mentioned. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the steps that we recommend you complete. And ideally, you complete these prior to business launch. But nothing is lost if you've already launched your business and you've missed some of these steps, because business planning is really a living, breathing thing. So you can always go back and do some of this research. So it means that you may encounter problems that you could have avoided, but while these steps can feel overwhelming in some cases and not very much fun, I assure you there's help and guidance and support every step of the way here at the Women's Business Center. So try not to get overwhelmed. We'll take it one step at a time. Again, today is really just about understanding the steps. And then if you're ready to jump in, I'll explain how we can help. So for any of you that are in that idea formation stage or the very first or second step, we recommend what we call market research. Now, don't let this term scare you. It's just business speak for investigating your business idea. And much of this you've probably already done naturally. All right. So, for example, if you're interested in opening an in-home daycare, it may be because you or someone you know looked for a daycare option and couldn't find one, meaning it appears that there's a demand that's not being filled. So, that recognition is part of market research. And there's some questions that you're going to want to answer to ensure your business idea is a viable one. And those questions include determining what the demand is in your area or your market. Also, what the market size is, meaning how many customers are possible. And there are also economic indicators for this business. You want to confirm that. So an example would be maybe if there's a major employer in your area that's looking to hire hundreds of workers, and that's going to increase the need for your business idea, that would be an economic indicator. Next step is to investigate locations for your business and really the details around setting it up. And then finally, you're going to want to understand how saturated your market is with the same types of businesses to understand, again, if your idea is viable. And that information is going to dove nicely into determining pricing for your business, which can be based both on your costs and then also what the market is willing to pay. So that's all embedded in market research. So if there's any gaps right now in your own market research that you've done in the past, you want to shore those up so that you understand the viability of your business. All right, after you've done much of your market research, which is really an ongoing process even after you launch your business, right? Understanding your market conditions never ends. Now you're ready to dive into completing a competitive analysis. And a lot of the information that you gather in your market research is going to help you complete a SWOT analysis on both your business and your competitors. Okay, so what is SWOT? Well, it's a listing of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And it's really important that you spend some time analyzing these questions and really thinking about the reality of your business idea. So I have lots of clients that get really excited about marketing their business and they want to jump right into things like buying shirts and hats and social media accounts and websites. But I want to caution you about putting the cart before the horse, because your market research and your competitive analysis is going to help you determine the viability of your idea before you go sinking a bunch of money and a substantial amount of your time into your business. And really before you take any major risks like quitting your day job. So help me help you and just commit to doing this initial work before you commit to a business launch. All right, so let's assume you did that work and you're convinced your business idea is viable and you're ready to start planning your own business launch. The next key step is to write your business plan. And if you're like most of my clients, this is the part where you roll your eyes and let out a big sigh because no one I've ever worked with gets excited about sitting down and writing a business plan. And what I found is it's really because most business plans can feel like an academic assignment. And most people don't want to go back to school, right? Especially entrepreneurs. Most of us entrepreneurs weren't very good at school. So what we're trying to do is start a business. So here's my suggestion when it comes to writing a business plan. I want you to try to think of it like a map. It's actually your directions to success. And I'm not a big fan of writing an academic business plan, which is that traditional 40-page business plan with lots of charts and graphs, right? The reason is because I deal with micro enterprises. These are businesses, again, that at their height, they have less than 6 employees. They can launch for under $35,000. So for those businesses, what I want is a boots on the ground business plan, meaning I want a plan on how you're actually going to pull this off step by step. And so for that kind of plan, what we really need to be doing is just answering a series of questions. And so WWBC, I recommend that clients attend my facilitated DreamBuilder program. And we've got one starting on September 7th. Okay, so what's DreamBuilder? Well, DreamBuilder is an online course and you can watch it on your schedule, right? It's embedded with a business plan tool. So you're first going to educate yourself, on the business planning and the questions that you're going to be answering. And then as you type in your answers to those questions, they get stored inside this business plan tool. And then at the very end of the course, you hit this button and all those answers magically get formulated into an organized business plan format. And it even comes with a table of contents. So I like to facilitate this program instead of just sending you off on your own, because I like to help answer your questions each week, kind of along the way, so that you not only stay motivated, but so that you don't get stuck. And if you're going to do this, I recommend that you carve out 3 to 4 hours of time per week so that we can get to the finish line together. All right, so here's what the schedule looks like. And you can see there's 6 weeks of content, and we'll meet on Tuesday evenings at 6:30 p.m. as a group to kind of share our experiences and then prepare you for the upcoming week of content. And of course, I'll be there with you every step of the way as your personal business coach. And for those of you that complete the program, we have a special graduation at the end. And then we can continue to work together as you seek funding for your business and then eventually launch your dream. So I highly recommend you consider joining a facilitated cohort of DreamBuilder. We're going to do them all throughout the coming year. And if you're serious about starting your business, this is a key step. I understand that it's a commitment on your part, but it's a commitment on the Women's Business Center's part as well, because we're there with you every step of the way, and we offer this at no charge. And having a solid map or a solid plan can really be the difference between success and failure. All right, so once you have a well-developed business plan, then typically it's going to include a calculation of your startup costs. But it's always a good idea to review those startup costs again, so that you have a full financial picture. So depending on the length of time that passes between writing your business plan and actually launching your business, pricing and costs can change. And we saw that in 2020 with the introduction of massive price hikes because of COVID. So, and kind of supply chain issues. So I always recommend you view your business plan like a living, breathing document. You're never really done writing it, because it's a continuing plan for success that should help guide you and remind you of your intention. All right, once you're clear on the startup costs and the first year financials, now it's time to fund your business. And I have so many clients that are just convinced that they have to have funding lined up first before they write a business plan. Because in their mind, why take the time to write a business plan if they don't have the money to start the business? And I get it. But here's how I want you to think about it, okay? You would never tell your 5-year-old not to go to school because you don't have the money to send them to college right now, right? They go to school because no matter if they go to college or not, education is really helpful in their life. And when it comes to funding your business, you don't want to start with the funding in mind, because it actually limits or sometimes expands, if you have a lot of money, your thinking really unnecessarily. And so you want to start with a well-researched, viable business plan, and then determine what funding is required to be successful, rather than starting with a dollar amount in mind and trying to force your plan into that number. That's actually a great recipe for failure. All right. So your business plan and your financials are going to dictate the funding you require to launch. And then it's your job to go find that money. And if you want to understand the 7 options for funding a small business, then I recommend you attend our webinar on that very topic. We do it live every single month, or you can check out a recording of it at your leisure on our YouTube channel. Okay, if you've got your plan and you've got your funding secured, now it's time to launch your business. And that's actually where the real fun begins. So remember, we're here with you every step of the way. We work with existing micro enterprises to help them sustain their business, not just launch it. Because making it past your second year in business is where the real magic starts to happen. And statistically, only half of all businesses make it to that point. And so we're here to try to help you change those odds. And I really encourage you to seek out all the assistance and support you can get here in Wyoming. Wyoming is just full of resources and people that want to support your dream. And really all it requires is that you participate. So much of it is there and so much of it is free. All right, guys, I'm going to open it up for questions. I try to leave some time on these webinars to take questions because I know some of you got on the line today because you had a specific question in mind, about your business. And so I want to be mindful of that. So as I give you some time to type in some questions, I'm just going to go over a few remaining slides here. The Women's Business Center is made possible through a couple different partnership agencies. Our primary funding comes from the U.S. Small Business Administration, known as the SBA, and then that funding is matched by the Wyoming Business Council. And so without that kind of support, we wouldn't be able to offer all this business education at no charge to Wyoming entrepreneurs. So we thank our partners. This is some contact information, both for myself and for our one-on-one business counselor, Jonathan Howdyshell. If you want to reach out to us directly, we would love that. That's our job. That's why we show up every day. So let us know if you want some one-on-one support. All right, guys, I'm checking my Q&A. I'm checking my chat. I'm not seeing anything right now. If you've been on one of my webinars before, you know that I have a tendency to be thorough. All right, we've got some upcoming webinars. So social media scheduling to save time is on September 2nd. The DreamBuilder facilitated course starts on September 7th. And so I encourage you to go to wyomingwomen.org, click on the training tag. You can RSVP for any of these at no charge. We also have a special SBA webinar coming up on the 9th, learn how to find funding for your small business. This is actually going to be reviewing a bunch of different loan programs that the SBA supports. And so there'll be several different speakers. So if you're at the point where you're looking for different loans, that might be a good one for you to check out. But if you're just in the educational, realm and you just want to understand what are my options for getting money, what are all the different kind of high level options, again, I recommend the 7 options to access money for your small business. And I'm doing that on September 28th. If you want a preview of that, you can always go to our YouTube channel. Okay, I've got a question here. What is the next DreamBuilder session? I have a current Tuesday night commitment. Is there another time available? So great question. This first cohort is going to meet on Tuesday nights and we'll run it for 6 weeks. And then I should have a new cohort starting at the beginning of the year in January. I actually have a bilingual one that I'm going to do from mid-October to the end of December. It's going to run more like for 8 or 9 weeks. But reach out to me directly because there's also a way for you to go through this with our business counselor. So if you want to do it sooner, you want to get it done, before the end of the year, we could do a one-on-one session with you instead of being part of a cohort. So we don't want to stunt your growth. If you're ready to get started, that's something that we can work with you individually. Thanks for the question. All right, guys, I'm not seeing anything else. So I appreciate everyone attending today. Stay on the line with me for another couple minutes and just complete this quick survey. I'm always interested in your feedback. Hope everybody has a great week. Thanks again.